Hey everyone, it's Kessler Raptorial. So, a little while ago, I started making videos with the titles of Teach Smarter, Not Stricter, addressing the shortcomings and, unfortunately, as I learn more and more about why school has become what it's become, the complete failings of modern education, which the leftist government has, bit by bit, spent the last several decades taking over. There's another video I would like you to watch and pay very close attention to. And as this government takeover of Western children is actually utterly illegal, and I hope the world eventually wakes up to that and finds a way to put an end to it. In the meantime, I'm going to talk about some topics that school doesn't. Things that actually are useful things to know for the real world. One of the most important is money and money management. It's a skill that most adults struggle with for decades, and there are two major reasons for that. One is it's not taught in schools. It's not taught to people when they're young, and so unless they're lucky enough to have a stable family and a parent who teaches them how to keep track of their spendings and savings, which the vast majority of families do not anymore, then who are they going to learn it from? Financial advisors when they are adults? No. Because my dad and I have been talking about this from time to time, as I'm now trying to learn the details of money management myself. I've got some of the basic rules down, and I even made a video talking about that as well as how it relates to even basic ecological resource management. Go listen, it's my Rule of Net Resources video, which I will give you the link to in the video description, and you'll get what I'm talking about. My dad has been struggling with financial advice, finances his entire life, and for decades tried to find a good advisor. But the problem is they aren't all that good themselves, most of them. And they will be primarily trying to secure a portion of your money for themselves, and they will do everything they can to try and convince you not to give up on them, even if and after you discover that they suck. Because, big surprise, they want your money. One of the core rules of life that my dad, I, and now my younger brother as well talk about: if you have money, people want it. Now, while it's not illegal for financial advisors to take some of your money for themselves, provided the arrangement is legal, they are a business after all, and they do usually tell you about the charge when you sign up. And it is your responsibility to be aware that this is what they're really about, taking a portion of your money. I mean, we're in a world where it's pretty much a given that no accountability is going to come from them. Or a lot of people, actually. The government taking over the education of our children. Now that, in fact, is illegal and unconstitutional. I'm speaking from the United States of America Constitution. And if you want a thorough explanation of why and just how scary it really is, go and watch the video discussion between Stefan Molyneux and Dr. Duke Pesta, titled The Dangers of Common Core. That was uploaded on June 10th, 2016. In the meantime, let's talk about some of the first things you should know about money. And this is equally useful, applicable, whether you're 10 years old, 14, 16, 25, 32, 42, and so on. Schools don't teach these. And more, particularly along with the absence, usually due to the modern family courts destruction of fathers without any sign of regret, families no longer teach their children about this either. The planet is not infinite. Therefore, its resources cannot be infinite. Yet, we have, for many decades now, been acting as if we believe it is, and or expect it to be. Loggers once believed that the vast temperate forests of North America would go on forever, and they didn't. After several decades of a much more controlled wood industry, they are starting to grow back, but the tropical rainforests of Central and South America are not. And this is because in tropical forests, the nutrients decomposed into the ground from fallen matter, leaves, fruits, everything else, is reabsorbed by the forest so quickly that little is left behind when the trees are cleared, and so the soil cannot feed the growth of the new forest. This is really the basic reason why replanting the rainforest, not quite that simple. Another example, people all over the world wanted to come into Western countries because they were assumed to be lands of plenty and opportunity. But out of control social and economic and legal restrictions, not to mention immigration, illegal, have choked all of that. And the simple truth is, we cannot take care of everyone on this planet. Europe has largely run out of money, and America was able to step on the brakes a little by the people electing President Trump, who is still a bit iffy in his motivations, but not at all the monster that the Democrats claim he is. Now, he has gone after environmental protections and resources, and there's the thing, the EPA, the parks, the redwoods. He's going after. I'm going to try and address this. For now, talking about money and resource management itself, because we can't protect our future without a realist idea of how to do so. So I'm likely going to make a series of video discussions about this topic. We'll follow articles and lessons as I go about learning myself. The first thing I'd highly suggest, go online and read the first 2 chapters of a website written by Harley Hahn. I'll add the link below, and the first 2 chapters are titled Understanding Money, Introduction. And the second is What is Money? Those 2 chapters. They're rather short, but an essential beginning to the talks we're going to have.